boldinventorsip.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bold Inventors Show. I am JD Houvener, a patent attorney, owner here at Bold Patents Law Firm, and you made it. This is the spot for inventors, entrepreneurs, and business owners like you to get your questions answered. And we're talking with inventors out there in the wild that have been there and done that have done innovating and have achieved a patent and are moving toward innovating in the future. We have an awesome guest, as you probably saw, Ribbit to Revenue, I said, Scaling Networks and Innovation with FrogNet founder, John Fawcett. So John's waiting backstage. Excited to have him on and pick his brain on what he's up to with FrogNet. As you probably know, us being an attorney, I've got to do some disclaimers here. This is not going to be live legal advice by any means. I want to let you know this is a public forum. We're live across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you do have any questions, hypotheticals, high-level questions, I can offer legal information and give you some knowledge on the subject matter. But if you do have a confidential question, say you've got an invention in mind, I do encourage you to submit under our website and book a free discovery call. So let me provide that link to you in just a minute. It's just going to be me today. I'm sailing solo. Matt Colzetta is on vacation. So it's going to be a short and sweet session today. We're going to skip our classic preloaded Q&A. We'll save that for next week. But if you have questions for me related to patent law, intellectual property, I'm happy to take them. That's your link right there, the weekly live link to schedule a free discovery call. If you have a confidential question, we can get right to it. So with all that out of the way, I think we're going to jump right to our interview. No reason to wait. John Fawcett, welcome to the Bold Inventors Show. How you doing, John? Are you able to hear me?
I got
okay?
you. You were attenuating last second. You just started attenuating in the last second. I think we're good now. You good?
I'm great. I'm doing good. Welcome to the Bold Inventors Show.
Great. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Happy to be here. Pretty excited. I think I've got some
excellent
really interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, well, let's set the foundation a little bit. Give us a bit of background on yourself and Fawcett Innovations. When did you get started with that company?
Well, it's probably been 10 years that I've been working on this project, but we started Fawcett Innovations about a year ago. Okay. I've been around for a really long time, and I've got a couple of software patents, one for file system virtualization and one for pop-up networking, and then I've got another real-world patent for a kind of three-dimensional lock that I invented. So I've also done a lot of work for companies like Boeing and Electronic Arts, things like that. I've developed a lot of internet multiplayer game servers and things.
Oh,
so yeah, I
a lot of experience.
Yeah, in fact, that was kind of one of the things that started me down the road to FrogNet here, because FrogNet, what it is a way to stand up a private internet, right? Okay. An individual person or a group of people can stand up an internet that they control. They only let the people they know in on it. And the interconnectivity between them, I mean, it doesn't require the cloud or anything like that to work, right? These machines connect directly to each other, but they can do it with Ethernet or Wi-Fi or even long range with radios.
I'll play dumb a little bit. So why would someone want to have a small little mini internet?
Well, a lot of really interesting reasons. One possibility would be if you were a researcher and you had a whole bunch of field tests that were out there, right? And you had to monitor them. You have a local network sitting there that has an AI on it, and it's watching what's going on at this station and reporting those results in real time up across the network through a radio link, right? So You can have these things distributed through a very large, very wide area. And now you've got real-time telecommunications that you're reading all this stuff in real time off of the distributed sensor network, and your AI can tell you how things are going.
Okay, John, I'm trying to keep up with you, but so it sounds like, if I got that right, situations where you want to have as much control as possible. Is that fair?
Yeah, and situations where resiliency is important, right? Because I don't depend on the internet to live. Most of the systems today depend on the connectivity that the internet has, and that has a whole bunch of assumptions with it that were cast in stone about 50 years ago and never revisited. And so that's what I did, basically, was revisit all of those assumptions. And I took the stuff that was good, the stuff that really worked, and I adapted the rest of it for the ability to work in harsh environments where connectivity is not guaranteed, or where you might need to be mobile, right? Where you have teams that come in and join and leave and things like that. So more oriented towards the way people are working today in real life than having things be static, right?
Okay, got it. So not just control, but basically having potential access where to connectivity where there are no cell towers, or where there is no, call it reception, or satellite connections. You could have, as you said, radio connections or other modes to communicate and connect.
Right, and you go into a disaster area, for example, right after the event happens. First responder teams are already going out there with radios, right? We can use those same radios to project networks around them that people with their cell phones can connect to, right? And we're running the same kinds of protocols on these networks that you run on the World Wide Web, right? So we can have web servers up there that serve up the disaster, information system, where they can register for help and, let people know that they're alive and things like that, long before anybody brings in any sort of a satellite uplink or anything like that. And we're doing it all on local hardware, so it's all just supported, right? You're not paying for anything else. That's the other aspect of it, is everything that we do in the cloud, on the internet is monetized 8 ways to heaven, right?
Absolutely.
And what this does is lets you take all that off. And if you don't need to have the cloud, don't have it, right? Just stand up your network. There are tools that you can use that give you file synchronization, social media, sharing of photos, things like that across the system. And we can support all that stuff, even over radios, if we know what it is, right? So you're doing all this and keeping it local to yourself and private.
Okay.
Right.
So let's talk a bit about what you've been doing in terms of commercializing yourself, or getting it to market rather. Do you have a way that FrogNet is to be sold or created, or are you selling it now?
Yeah. So I'm just getting to the point where I am actually really seriously looking for partners or investors that can help me move this thing to the next level.
Okay.
This is an infrastructure item. This is what we call a fabric, right? And the internet is the fabric that provides the cloud and the World Wide Web and things like that. This is a replacement for that fabric that does the same kinds of things, only with a local private internet that's all your own, right? Okay. So there are a lot of things you can do with that fabric, right? You can put it in an ambulance and connect it to real-time monitors, right? And provide an AI that's like an assistant. You can do many different things with it. I don't know how to do those things. I am not a subject matter expert in those areas. So what I'm trying to do is find people who are excited about doing something like this in a standalone way, in a private way, offline, that want to work with me, right? If you've got an idea how you might use this in your field and you're an SME, then great, let's partner and I will help you make something that will satisfy your needs, right?
Do you have something that is published? Any website or publication where we could learn more about FrogNet?
Yeah, I've got fawcettinnovations.com, and that's got information about the FrogNet. I just updated it this morning, but I need to update it a little bit more.
There it is. Okay.
The latest changes that I've made that enable the low speed mode over radio, those are actually super innovative and definitely patentable.
Let's take a real peek. Let's take a peek at the website. For those on the podcast, and just kind of bear with. We'll try to transcribe. So Fawcett Innovations. This is the right site.
Yeah, and you want to go to the middle section there. I do consulting when I get a chance.
This one here.
This is about the FrogNet. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. FrogNet. Got it. Okay, yeah. So it's a new layer of reality for networks and AI, and you've got a PDF download here for the FrogNet book, and great. You've got a good explanation as to why this exists beyond the mesh. Beyond IoT, in terms of any traction, this looks like it's pretty well thought through. Have you built out any examples or any validation of your FrogNet to date?
The only ones I've done are by myself in my lab, right?
Okay.
I've done simulations where I've slowed things down and made sure the low speed networking works the way it should, and crashes and things like that. But what I really need is I love crashes. What I really am looking for is somebody who has an actual need for this. Now, what I'm trying to do, I have a young partner that I've teamed up with, a guy named Noah Black, and he is a ham radio operator.
Okay, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're talking about using this, setting up radio operate, ham networking through this, and being able to provide full website services across the networks through ham radio.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds interesting. And now what I was going to ask about there is, obviously being a lawyer, I'm thinking of potential red tape. FCC probably wants to have some say in this if this were to come to fruition. Have you run up against or considered what regulations, what laws you might be hitting?
I actually don't think that I've got any problem with that. The processes that I've put in place all use commercially available system software. They're all based in Linux, and like I said, I'm using the existing routing system. I'm using the existing command structure. All I did was implement a new way of moving things around.
You provide the means, not the what's being sent. And I mean, is there any, I guess I'll say, censorship, precautions, safety, and national security risk? Those are things that come to mind.
Yeah, I guess there's some arguments that could be made that having having the ability to have a private wide area network is a national security risk.
Right. It's for good guys and bad guys. It sounds like whatever.
Right. I can't control that, but I would point back to the First Amendment. Right. We have the right to have private. The Fourth Amendment too. Right. We have a right to be private in all of our affairs and everything that we do. And that's exactly what I'm doing, right? We are private. You're standing up a network that only your people can get into. If the government wants to snoop that, they can snoop that. But the first thing you have to do to break into a FrogNet is gain proximity to it, right? Because this is not the internet. This is local, your machine to your neighbor's machine to your neighbor's machine. So right. The first thing that big black van has to do is show up in the neighborhood.
Right. Now, I mean, you're talking about, invisible signaling through radio, potentially, right? That would mean
right.
that could certainly cover some distance, but there's a physical limitation. You're not going to be going over mountains or I don't know what. I'm not as familiar with radio at all, but what would be sort of the largest conceivable network?
Ham radio can go worldwide.
Right. Yeah. Uh-oh. Looks like our signal. Looks like our signal is having trouble. Oh, man. Yeah. Who knows if it's on my
I'm
end?
sorry, you just.
Looks like we're buffering back. Okay, good. Things are coming back slowly but surely. I'm in the middle of Washington State, so we got fiber internet. And you're on mute, John, if you're talking.
There we go. How about
Okay,
that?
we're back.
They're doing construction outside on my street. I hope they're not doing something really bad to me.
Right. Well, so far we were able to come back. That was pretty cool. We need to set up our own FrogNet for this podcast. I'm proud.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But no, the ability to stand up your own private network is, I would argue, fundamentally a Fourth Amendment right.
Okay.
And ham radios, like I said, can go worldwide.
Okay, that's what we were missing. Okay, got it. So you could, in theory, cover the whole world. Let's take a real peek at your patent. So is there one patent, or have you got a portfolio that covers this technology?
So right now, I think there's just the one patent.
Okay.
Because everything else, I would argue, would be obvious to a practitioner of the art, right? Once you understand the architecture, what has to be done, implementing it is fairly obvious, right?
Got it.
But the compression, the ability to compress messages and being able to send them over radio, right? That is definitely patentable, because what I'm doing there is normal HTTP, normal web traffic is very noisy, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes in there, all the things that tell it what color and where things go and all that kind of stuff. Very, very noisy. Only about 5 things on any given page are actual data. Right.
Interesting. Okay.
And so what I do is I take a look at that page and I say, okay, this is data, this is data, this is data, and this is data. And I extract that. And then I compress that into a binary format and shove that across to the other side and reinflate it over there. So you get web traffic, right? But I'm using a very compressed binary data transfer for that. And I'm pretty sure that component of it is patentable.
Okay. And so in terms of what patents you own on this technology, do you have patent numbers or patents that are granted covering FrogNet or the systems and architecture?
Well, I have a patent. I don't have the number. It's up there on the wall.
What's the title of it?
I don't even remember what it was. It was one of those long titles. It has to do with pop-up networking. Basically, I had the ability to stand up a TV studio anywhere I wanted to. This was the beginning of the networking, the portable networking systems, right? And so I got a patent on that. That one was actually processed on the execution highway, so that one cost me a lot of money.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I got it right when the pandemic hit, and then as soon as I couldn't sell it, I couldn't do anything with it because Zoom and all those other things took over. There was no market for it. My market evaporated like that.
Right. Well, yeah, we'd love to look at that number. If you happen to have the patent number, that'd be great. But congrats on that. And so you're looking to use that as part of the enforcement strategy for what could be a company. You're looking for investors, looking for anybody who wants to partner with you on this. So are you going to share your email address on this broadcast? If that's okay, if maybe out there listening, maybe interested or afterward on the post.
John at FawcettInnovations.com.
Okay.
And I'd love to hear from anybody. If you've got anything that you think would benefit from this, like I said, I can see 1,000 markets for this thing, but I'm not a subject matter expert. So I want to partner with somebody who is. And when you publish it, we'll build it, you own it, you maintain it, you sell it, it's your market. We'll take a royalty, I think, something like that. Right?
Yeah, right. I get the email right, John, at fawcettinnovations.com.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. And I got your website. I'll be watching. This is interesting. And, I think it's a great opportunity. I agree. It's unique, especially with all the advent of everything going with AI and a lot of businesses wanting to remain autonomous. Lots of research happening.
Yeah. The system also introduces, if I can just
go
a little bit further, it introduces the concept of real-time sensors and systems on board the network by default that can take advantage of that. Right. Okay. By that, I mean that I have, the distributed platforms that are out there, and you can put a computer on one of those, or you can even put the sensor directly on it, like a GPS sensor. And it can read its GPS location. It can read the pH balance out of the soil. It can read the moisture, whatever. And it can convert those into a generic sensor packet and send it back. That packet can be consumed by anything on the network, right? A dashboard, or in my case, I've generated an AI that is an offline AI that's been trained to be an expert in a specific area, like say a hydroponic gardener, right?
Sure.
And so it can have access to that real-time data, right? So it can have access to the pH and the soil meter, all that kind of stuff. And then it can issue directives or tell you when things are good or bad, right? So all of that is concentrated so that you can actually have real-time information feeding the AIs or feeding dashboards, all locally, no upstream required. No, you're not paying anybody for transfer fees or storage.
Yeah, like drones to fly over or gather sensors or something like that. So overview.
Yeah. One of the things you could do with a radio is have airborne to ground networks, or even space to ground, right?
Yeah.
Submarine based, right? Oil rigs would be a big user of this kind of technology, I think.
That's fantastic. Okay, John. Well, thank you for sharing your technology with me and for being on the Bold Inventors Show. I've got your email here. We'll get in touch, try to get you back on the show with an update should we have any big breakthroughs. I wish you the best. And thanks again for being on.
Thank you, JD. And I apologize for the sunlight.
Oh, no worries at all. It's kind of fun. It's all good. Have a good day.
I appreciate it. Have fun.
Go Bold. Bye-bye.
Go bold at boldip.com.